Good evening. Let's see who's coming in tonight. Queen Status Podcast. I don't know if that still works. It does still work. It does still work. Let a couple people come in here. We're gonna wait a few minutes. Well, hey there, Cheryl Garrett. Joining me for Queen Status Podcast. I guess I can't see everybody that's coming in because it says a few people, but all I can see is my mom. So you might want to say good evening or say hi so that I know you're here. Hey, Shantae Taylor. Hey, everybody coming in for Queen Status. Hey, lady, I need to jump on your live so I can get me some bling. That's what I need. Good evening, Mom. Glad you're feeling better. I'm going to wait a couple more minutes and let a few more people get in. Tonight we're going to talk about Black families. We're going to talk about Black Families Matter is what we're talking about. My daughter is not joining us this evening. She is getting ready to start her classes, so she has to prepare for that. And she's also got a really important interview tomorrow that she's preparing for. She's been waiting on this interview for about a month or so. So we're going to give her another break off and let her life is life. And so she's got to do life tonight. So anyway, it is 7:01, so I want to get started. Thank you guys for joining me for Queen Status. Who's on here? I can only see. Yes, congratulations to my baby girl. Bless her heart. So tonight, I want to talk about Queen Status. Queen Status has kind of been all over the place because life has been lifing for me as well. And so trying to navigate through the fire and all of that stuff going on. So hopefully everything is getting back to normal now, and I can start doing Queen Status on a regular basis going forward. Queen Status is going to change a lot. It's going to actually turn into a for real podcast where we will have our intros and guests and all that stuff coming up. So September, hopefully the first week in September, we're going to launch our for real podcast. And so we'll have people coming on and talk about different topics. But tonight, I'm getting over a cold as well. I guess it was a cold. I don't know what it was. Everybody said COVID's going back around. So I don't want to claim that. But anywho, Black families. Black families matter. If anybody knows me, everybody knows that I love, and I love family, and I love doing things the right way. Hey, Ashley. And so our Black families are, I don't want to say crisis, but it's a crisis going on where our Black families are concerned. I don't think that we take our Black families serious. Everybody nowadays is more in the mode of doing whatever makes them happy. And if it's not making them happy, then they're not, they're not wanting to do family. Hey, Genesis. And so tonight, I can't see Colleen. I can't see a lot of people that are coming in. So if you come in, say hi so I know that you're here. I meant to grab some statistics that I have, that I got from a meeting. Hey there, Colleen. From a meeting that I went to, this past week. But before we talk about that, Black families and Black families matter. And it's my audience is mostly women. Some men join, but it's mostly women. So let's do girl talk tonight. And so where Black families are concerned, I hope that we all understand that men are the leaders, but we are the We are the thermostat of the family. And I believe that nowadays women have a lot of influence over a lot of things. And we can't do it all, but I do believe that if we move in a different way, I believe that our families can be blessed. Right now, things like marriage, it's not necessarily honorable amongst black people. And I'm talking about black people tonight because I'm black. Not saying that other, races don't have the problem, but we're not talking about them tonight. We're talking about us. And so people don't honor marriage, and they don't honor the way that God designed the family to be. And so because people don't honor the way that God designed the family to be, our family is kind of falling apart. Hey, Shakiria, our families are kind of falling apart. And we think that, for the most part nowadays, it's really normal for people to say, hey, it's a single mother, head of household family. And that can very well be done. My mom done, you like my hair, girl? You like my hair? I'm trying something a little bit different, My mom done an amazing job raising us alone. My father was around and did live in Indianapolis all of his life until he passed away at 52, which was a very, very early age for him to pass away. But, we have not done a great job at sacrificing and keeping our families together. Hey, Rhonda. And so tonight I want to talk about that, and I want you guys to talk back to me so that we kind of get some things together and try to understand and try to help each other. And so the first thing I would have to say is we have a problem in our race honoring marriage and understanding what that is supposed to look like where marriage is concerned. We do a lot of things backwards. We will have a baby. We will buy a house with a man before we even think about or even put marriage on the table. And I think as women, we head up a lot of other things, but we don't head up how our relationships go so that our families can be formulated in the right way. And so to start off talking about Black families matter, as women, we need to get it together as far as what we want, what we're striving for, because we do things backwards as well. We see somebody that's catching to the eye candy, and we go off of that. Oh, I really like him, and blah 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 blah. We don't do a lot of list making as far as what we want in a man. So it starts there. The family actually starts there. It starts when you're dating. Who are you looking to date? And if you're looking to date somebody, most of the time we're looking to date people in order for that thing to go a little bit further. And usually the outcome is a family. And so when you're looking to date, that means when you're looking for somebody to date who is a potential for you, you're also looking at whether that person is going to be a good leader or a great father, and he can lead your family. So if you're just dating right now and you're just looking for somebody that smells good and he drives well and his bank account looks good, then all those things are good, but are they going to work for you? Because his bank account is his bank account. Do we know that he's the person that shares his bank account with you? What does he feel about marriage? Right now, we got all this 50-50 stuff going around where relationships are concerned. And I don't know about y'all, and to each his own. I support everybody. But the best way to turn me off is to be talking about some 50-50, because get somebody else to do it, because I ain't doing it. Everybody who knows me knows I believe in bossing up and having an entrepreneurial spirit as a woman, but I believe in being a girly girl. And part of being a girly girl means I don't necessarily need or want to go 50-50. So it's that part for me, and to each his own. You can call it whatever you want. In the 90s and 2000s, they called it a gold digger. I don't call it a gold digger. I call it a great investment. And so for me, I don't do ride or die anymore. I'm not a ride or die chick, so you ain't got to worry about that. Been there, done that. Won't be doing that again. If the state says you got to go somewhere else to live, that we broke up, we gotta do something else. So I'm getting all off. But I'm saying these things to say, as women, we need to already know what it is that we're looking for. And we need to pay attention to the red flags. We talked about this a lot in Queen Status, but that is the making of a family. That is the making of our black families. And the reason why that our black families are failing is because we're not doing our due diligence to understand what it is to date, because that's where it starts. And so when you start looking at your family, a lot of us, and God said, what, Mom? I can't see it. You know, a lot of us are way past. We got more time behind us than we have in front of us. And so we're just now learning some of these things that we should be learning, as far as making sure that our family is secure and our families are good. And so with that being said, in order for those families to be good, you got to pick the right man. You got to pick the right partner. That partner has to be a purpose partner. Just because he's fine and he's built nice and he smells good and he rides good, that don't mean nothing for you, because if he ain't sharing, then y'all ain't partners. You know, so we got to think about that. We got to keep it all the way 100. We got to keep it all the way real. A lot of us want a man at our side because we want to be able to say, hey, we got a boo, and we get to go out and we get to show up at weddings and we look real cute in the pictures and all that. But if you don't have a purpose partner that's making sure that mortgage is paid every day and these kids are taken care of, you got a problem. Don't nobody care about you looking good. Everybody's trying to make their life make sense. Hey, Melanie. So with that being said, hey, Miss Marv, come on, Miss Marva. The man is to cover his family. Yeah, you know, if you look, Miss Marva, I'm glad you on here. I want you to talk back to me, because Miss Marva has been my friend for 18,842 years. But Miss Marva waited on that purpose partner. And I don't see Miss Marva on a regular basis. But baby, when I see the pictures and stuff that's going on and the things they doing or whatever, she waited. She waited on that purpose partner, and life is good. And that's what life is supposed to look like. Let's see, what is, you know what? You know why I can't read? You know why I can't see how I'm squinting? Because I ain't got my other I ain't got my other eyes on. So let me put my other eyes on. Screens keep freezing and sound goes out. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe it's my phone. Is everybody else able to hear and see me well? Let me know. Hey, Miss Tamika. Tamika's another one. Tamika has been in this marriage thing for a long time, and she has been able to, you know, feel her way through and raise her kids and put kids through college. Put them, you right. I'm 54 years old. I need to stop playing so much. Put these glasses on so I can see what y'all saying. But I just say that to say we're playing, but at the same time, as a woman, we talk about bossing up. Well, one of our number one responsibilities as bossing up is picking the right person, being a purpose partner, picking the right leader, somebody who can lead you somewhere and not lead you into the ground. You know, and then we want to be victims. I'm going to be real. I'm going to keep it real because I'm a woman and I'm with y'all. I want to see us win. But we get on Facebook and social media and talking about he ain't this and he ain't that. But you picked him. You picked him. You didn't prepare for him. You didn't pay attention to the red flags. You just saw that he was cute and he looked like he had a little bit of money or whatever, and you roll with it. But no, you know, when he's talking crazy, same here, screen keeps freezing. I don't know. It's probably because it's Car Chronicles for me today, because of the fire, not regular stuff, and we won't have our regular studio up and going, and you have to know who you and your purpose partner, in order to choose the right one. Yeah, you got to know yourself. And so I'm sorry, you guys, if it's kind of choppy, but I'm using my phone, Wi-Fi or whatever it is, because today I'm in the car. I'm Car Chronicles until next week, or allow God to choose for you. I mean, we should always allow God. We should always seek God. And I believe God wants us to have what it is that we want to have, as long as it's in his will, is what he's, you know, what he wants for us. But I say that to say, you know, we do a lot of foolish things that we are not. Thank you, Tamika. I'm super proud of you as well. We do a lot of foolish things that we don't hold ourselves accountable for. You know, we get out here and we let these guys tell us anything. I ain't this and I ain't that and bloop, 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 bloop. And then, you know, the red flags is coming up like these hearts is coming up. And we say, okay, I'm going to wait it out with you. You don't owe him nothing. You ain't waiting out nothing. You ain't doing nothing but wasting your time. So I'm just saying that to say, as women, if we're going to change anything about our families, if we're going to help our daughters be better women, if we're going to help our men lead their families, we got to lead by example. These young people nowadays, they're not listening to what we talking about. When we were growing up, it was do as I say, not as I do. And now, if you better be authentic, if you want them to listen to you, you better be being about what you're talking about, where these kids are concerned. And so we cannot complain about these young people and how they dress and how they act, because we haven't done our due diligence. Our daughters have not seen us boss up and step up and make sure that we stand on business, that we hold people accountable for how they treat us, going forward. We can't be mad when we having babies by folks who, number one, is telling us all the time they didn't want to have babies, or they got a whole nother family somewhere else and we waiting on him to lead that family. And stop with the foolishness. It's girl talk. We talking about us now. We talking about some of the things that we do that are never talked about, that have a direct effect on our families. I coach people on a regular basis, and I mean, it's a mess out here. It is a mess out here. Folks got babies by this person, who got babies by that person. It's people who got babies by the same guy and they cousins, and I mean, just all kind of crazy foolishness going on. And we expect our kids to go to school and grow up and be their best. Sometimes we can be influenced by everything but the right things. And you are so right about that. And that comes from not spending time and knowing who you are yourself. I have always told my kids since they were little, music is only for entertainment. It's not for you to pattern your life behind. Hey, Crystal, it's not for you to pattern your life behind. Cardi B and all them and Meg Thee Stallion. Yep, that stuff sound good sometimes. The beat sounds good, but you ain't patterning your life. Cardi B having problems herself. So I ain't knocking her, but at the same time, she's not the one that I really want to take advice from at this time either, because her life be lifing and she's trying to figure it out as well. So our girls, now they don't really have anybody that they can pattern themselves behind. Hey, Chantel. So I'm sitting in the park right now. I'm watching the kids because I like to watch. I like to people watch. And I'm just watching how many cars are pulling up, single mothers dropping their children off at the park. Now, I know last week I probably shared about maybe five posts about kids being missing. Hello, newsflash, Black families matter. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot drop your kids off anymore at the park. You can't drop your kids off downtown. I know you might want a break. I understand. When my kids were growing up, me and my mother laugh all the time because I used to cry and be like, I ain't never going to get my life back. I ain't never going to be able to do what I need to do. But I had to be a mother, and that's just what it was. God allowed me to be responsible for these two young people. And my prayer was, God, please don't allow me to mess these two young people's lives up. Be the other parent and help me to raise these kids to the best of my ability. Two very well-rounded adults. And that's what God did for me. And so I'm just saying that. I know I'm jumping around because we only have like an hour, but sure enough, Cardi B's life is life. And yeah, everybody's life is life. And, drop it on. No. Got to be more mindful and have a spirit of motherhood. Correct. Anytime God has entrusted us to be good stewards over the things that he has given us. And being a mother is one of the greatest gifts that you could ever have. I'm a super fly mother, and now I'm a G-Ma. So I'm trying to be a super fly G-Ma. But I'm telling you, being a mother is the best thing that could have ever happened to me. I'm not lying. When I say I love my kids with everything in me, and I will go to the ends of the earth for them, I'm telling you. And so I don't understand how women are running around. I understand it's hard, but we gotta get together and help each other. It's too many kids coming up missing. We gotta find some friends that's watching kids or helping us or doing something. But these are the conversations that we need to have so that we can pull up beside. The Bible says the older women will teach the younger women. I firmly believe that with everything in me, and as old as I am, I still look for people who are wiser than I am, so that I have good counsel around me. Even in raising young adults, my young adults, when they get older, I think it's harder when they're older than it is when they're younger, because you can't control anything they do. Everything that you say is advice to them at this point. And so I just say that to say, oh, thank you, Mama, that I'm a great mother. Thank you. But I just say that to say some of the things that are going on in this lifetime are our fault. You know, yep, you get tired, but I mean, it's a superwoman. It is. You got to keep it moving. You got to go to bed and get up and talk to Jesus and keep it moving. Tomorrow's a new day. It's grace and new mercies. God, make even my mistakes to prosper and keep it moving. Goodness and mercy will follow me. Hey, girl, hey. Goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. And you need to stand on what that word says. Now, I know this ain't church. I get it. But if you know me, you know I'm going to go back to them principles, because I ain't got time. I ain't got time to be tripping up and falling. I got enough stuff going on. But if I don't have to trip up and fall, that's not what I want to do. And so I got to go back to that scripture so that I can understand we can do all the new stuff we want. But one thing I do know, it's no sense in reinventing the wheel. And if God has already put something in place for us, that book, that Bible is a super manual. It is gangster. Do you understand what I'm saying? Any and everything that you think that you might have a problem with, that you're looking for, you can find it in that book. I promise. And we can go to new school all we want, but I'm telling you, that old school Bible is going to help you every single time. And so it just makes me really sad to see some of the things that these young kids have to go through nowadays. And it's more prevalent now than it was when we were growing up. Kids have a hard time. They have a hard time. And so I believe that as women, if we sit down, nope, we cannot control these men. But what I do know is when you speak a thing, now I'm going back scripture. If you speak a thing and God hears it, I believe that he honors our prayers. It says that whatever we believe, whatever we say in Jesus' name, God is going to give it to us as long as it's in his will. And it's in his will for us to prosper and to do well. And so as women, we got to start knowing who we are. We got to start understanding our value. We got to start standing on business. Especially to me, single women, y'all the best thing going right now, because you got options. You got things you can do. You got ways that you can go. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with being married. It's very hard. But I will say, nothing's wrong with being married. But as a single woman, you can actually, he wants us to live in abundance. Yes. All this running around talking about woe is me, that ain't of God. I don't care what nobody say. That is not how God designed it to work. We designed it to work like that because we want to do things our way and in our will. And so, nope, I'm not trying to be super spiritual, but what I can tell you at 54 years old, when I learned the biblical principles and I understand how to use them, working together works with Jesus. You understand what I'm saying? My testimony is coming September 22nd about that apartment fire, how God moved and done some things just because I spoke some things. And then I don't know how many of you know, it might seem small to other people, but I remember it was almost a year ago. Right now, it was in October or the end of September. I remember I was getting ready to go in for surgery and I was thinking about some things, and in my head I'm thinking, I am a whole grown woman. I still got student loans on my credit. I don't like that. I want them loans off of my credit report. And in my head I'm just thinking, not saying this stuff out loud, didn't pray a formal prayer or anything. And I said to myself, when I get done with this surgery, I'm going to get out of that hospital and I'm going to figure out how to get these student loans off of my credit report, because I'm tired of paying student loans. I'm tired of seeing them on my credit report anytime I get ready to do something. And so I was watching Pastor Keon Henderson. I love Keon Henderson. I don't care nothing about the shh and all that stuff. I love him. And so he had spoke something over his congregation, that his congregation was going to live in abundance and that God was going to remove millions of dollars of student loan debt. And so I'm listening to the sermon, not thinking nothing. And so he took up an offering or whatever. I shot him $100, you know, not really thinking about anything. Not saying that I didn't think the principles would work. I just wasn't thinking about it. And so in shooting him that money, I remember I got out of the hospital and the recovery was retarded crazy. It took me like 4 weeks to recover. And so I didn't go to the mailbox for like a month. Well, after a month, I went to that mailbox, and in that mailbox was a stack of mail that I did not want to go through. So I didn't go through it the first couple of days. After a couple of days, I said, I need to go through this mail. Went through the mail. There was an envelope in my mailbox. Long story short, my student loan debt, they had forgave $50,000. I had $62,000 worth of student loan debt. They had forgave $50,000 of student loan debt and interest. So I only had $9,000 and some change left. Baby, guess who gets their payment on time every month so I can eliminate that debt? Them student loan people get their money. But I'm saying that to say, I plant a seed. I thought something. The Bible says God will do exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask or think. Because I only thought it. Remember, I didn't say it. I thought it in my head. And because I thought it in my head, and it was God's will, God eliminated 50,000. I didn't get online and fill out an application. I didn't send an application through the mail. I didn't have to put my signature. I didn't do none of that. God heard my prayer up here, because it didn't even come out of my mouth, and he eliminated all that debt. And so I'm saying that to say, moving God's word on a regular basis. Hey, Norma. Moving God's word on a regular basis, he will help you get things done as a woman. You know, the worldly stuff that goes on and the things that I hear where coaching is concerned, a lot of women are lonely. A lot of women want the attention of a man. And you'll hear a lot of people say, I have needs. And I'm not trying to be hard on nobody. I'm really not. If I could really tell my for real testimony, and I will run one day, you will understand that I am truly qualified in telling you what I'm telling you. A lot of women will say, hey, I'm lonely. Hey, I need this, and I got needs, and I this. Well, can I keep it real, women of God? Your needs, at one point, you wasn't having sex, okay? You didn't even know what sex was about. And so how does it now become a need because you've experienced it? It's not a need. It's lust. Hey there. It's lust. And I'm not trying to be hard on anybody, but what I'm telling you is, if you set yourself apart, be sanctified, set yourself apart and figure out, go to God and figure out who you are as a woman, I'm telling you, nothing can stop you, because the only need you will have is God. You won't need a man. You won't need, now hear me right. I didn't say we don't want a man, but we want the right man. You won't need a man. You won't be out here just willy-nilly talking to Earl and Roscoe who ain't talking about nothing. You want to move them out of the way. You want the Boazes and all them to show up in your life. And it's not going to show up until we stop and understand who we are, understand what our value is, and we not going for no foolishness, period. Men can only do to us what we allow them to do. And I'm not just ragging on them. I'm talking about us. So don't let no knucklehead drive up and tell you a whole bunch of foolishness that he's 144 years old and he done had a hard time in life or whatever. Boy, what you been doing all your life? You ain't got nothing established. We ain't got nothing to talk about. Because, I just can't. Now, if somebody, roll up and say, hey, I just got a divorce and we had to split all our stuff up and I'm trying to build myself back up, and you can show me your divorce papers, because I ain't fooling with you talking about you did. I got to know you did. But if you, can legitimately show me that, hey, this is what happened and I'm trying to build something, I got you. I'm the girl for you. I'm telling you, we can build something. We can build a whole empire. And with that empire, that builds a family. That starts a foundation. That keeps families together. There's some stability for those kids and for those young adults to come back and say, hey, I've got wise counsel over here in my parents. I can come back to my parents and get a godly word that will take me from point A to point B. Because these kids are just going off of what they know, and our black families are just going to the toilet. And it just makes me so sad. And what we're doing is we're reproducing the foolishness, because then the kids go and they reproduce, you know, that generational thing is now in our bloodline. And so now our daughters and our sons go and do the same thing we did. They don't know who they are, but they go procreate with somebody and they got babies. And it starts all over. I don't know about y'all, but is anybody else tired of just watching our kids get killed, watching our girls have babies, watching everybody struggle, not having any generational wealth? None of that. I mean, what? I hear people talk about foreign people coming over here all the time and talk about how they, let's see, lust would trip us up every time and off our square. Yep. Clear the lines and make room for what you need. That part, love yourself enough to say, hey, enough is enough. And what I've been doing so far has gotten me absolutely nowhere. You know, and we got to teach our kids. I see foreigners coming over here on a regular basis. And don't get me wrong, I love everybody. But people always talk about, oh, they have an advantage to this and an advantage to that. No, they don't have advantages. They come over and they get food stamps and, you know, get on all kind of assistance. But the difference with them is they value family. Hey, Sandra, they value family. Day to day loving me more. Yes, that part. They and the foreigners stick together. That's what I was getting ready to say. They will come over here and they will get all the assistance that they can. They will drive a little beat up car. It'll be 19 families living in one house together, and they slowly build each family up where each family can buy their property and get their business started. In a minute, you'll see them driving Escalades and all kind of stuff. They got a plan. They have a plan. We are the ones who don't have a plan. We plan to hook up. That's all we plan to do. And I hate to say it, but y'all know I'm telling the truth. Y'all know that I'm being honest. We don't stick together. We always trying to step on each other and pull each other down and all this and all that. As women, from the beginning of time, hey, I've been saying this for years. Yes, Kathy. Sorry. From the beginning of the time, women have been pitted against each other. Men had 300 wives and 700 concubines. Yes, they do it on each other's nerves and stick together. Yeah, they stick together even if they can't stand each other. They'll go by. As black people, we are jealous of each other. Yes, jealous and envious. We can have a whole bunch of stuff. We just don't want our neighbor to have a whole bunch of stuff. Where they do that at? Who does that? We are too busy worrying about what the next person has. I say it all the time. Keep your eye on your own paper. Worry about your own stuff. That's the best you can do, is worry about getting your own business together, unless you're showing somebody how to better, you know, handle their own business. But we can't be mad at the Mexicans that come over. We can't be mad at the Nigerians that come over. We can't be mad at them. They got a plan. They have a plan. And so as women, like I was saying, we can't make the men do anything. Unity and support works, yes. But what we can do is control how they move. Did you hear what I said? We can control how they move, because it's us as women, we work against each other. Anytime you know that this man got a whole family on the other side of town, and you fooling with him because he talking about my girl ain't this and my wife ain't that. Hey, that nigga lying. Excuse me. That man's lying. He's lying, because if that was the case, he would go on and leave. He doesn't. We have to respect each other. And whether it's a marriage, yep, control how they move. Yeah. Whether they're married or just have a girl. If he's dealing with anybody, I tell my daughter all the time, the question you need to ask him is not, is he married? Does he have a girlfriend? The question you need to ask him is there any woman out there that thinks that she's your girlfriend or she's your wife? That's the question. Because in his mind, he done broke up with her on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, he gonna go back after he, you know, go skating and see all y'all or whatever. You know how they do. As a young adult, I mean, I'm sure enough tired of killing each other. Yeah, you tired of stepping on people. Shut up, Sharita. You tired of, but it stems back to our worth. Anytime you let a knucklehead be telling you, yep, I'm tired of her, she don't have no drive, and she don't got no this, and she don't got no that, but you still over there with, you tied to her for some reason. Stop. He ain't talking about nothing. Let him go on about his business. And I know they say it's 7 men to every 1 woman or whatever, but I'm telling you, I told you, I asked God to release some debt. I didn't even ask him out of my mouth. I thought it, and guess what he did? He gave it to me. So if he can relieve $50,000 worth of debt and I didn't even ask him for it, he can give me the man that I'm asking for. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'm preaching, sis. I am. It's passion, and I feel this for so many women. We have so much drive. When I say all these women on this, scrolling up here and putting these comments, everybody got something going on great. Everybody's a business owner, hold degrees, 2 or 3 or 4 degrees, and doing all kind of stuff. So if we got all this stuff going on, stop dumbing yourself down. Stop belittling yourself because you feel like you need for somebody to hug you. I know it ain't the same, but we can hug each other and keep it moving. But God is going to put somebody in your life that is going to do for you what it is that you need in his will. But we got to show God that we are up for the challenge, that we're up for the task. That's why I'm dating myself, because God, I need you. You hear me? Do you understand what I'm saying? And I know, I believe with everything in me that God answers prayer. And I believe, I don't want to tell sisters business. Don't be stuck on stupid and find yourself wasting major time on minor people. Baby, I wish you could put that in. Please post that so we all can share it. Because that's a lesson that we really need to know. We need to want better for ourselves. Exactly. Why do we feel like, there was a post on Facebook a few months ago. I can't remember exactly what it said, but it said, why do black women always have to prove that they're ride or dies, and they have to be hurt severely before a black man will consider that they are the ones, that they're worth it? And that is such a shame. It really is an absolute shame that we have to go through that. And I'm just going to throw this out here. I'm not being funny. It ain't for everybody. A nation can rise higher than this woman. We set the standard, and that's it right now. I wish that we all can get the fact that we set the standard. Do you think these men is out here getting money and having 19,000 vehicles and doing all that because sometimes they want their boys to understand that they on their grind and they doing whatever? No, they're doing it for women. Good women ain't gonna make a good man. No, because he's already, listen, when God made Adam, remember the story? When God made Adam, Adam had everything that he needed. When God made Eve didn't have to come in there and talk about, hey, I'm going to ride or die. I'm going to go to work and I'm going to work these shifts and let you. She didn't have to do that. Adam already had everything he needed. Eve's job was to come in and help him cultivate what he already had. Period. So I'm not knocking you. I have taken care of plenty of things where my husband is concerned. But at the same time, you as a woman, your job is not to come in and be trying to make it comfortable for him. If he don't have his own job and his own place to stay, he ain't got to have no big house, sis. You ain't got to do that. Y'all can figure that out when y'all get together. But if he don't have somewhere to stay and a decent car, especially at my age. Now, y'all up under me, I get it. You know, you might have to work with him a little bit. He might have some little kids you might have to deal with. And I understand that. Me as a 54-year-old woman, you better not come with that stuff, because I'm not, I'm going to stay on over here by myself, go visit my girlfriends and have fun. We're going to go out of town and go on a dinner boat and do all that, because I ain't got time for no foolishness. And I can't say it enough. If he don't have 2 pennies to rub together, and he ain't going to, he can't. Ain't nothing we can talk about, nothing, because the struggling was way back there. I'm too old for that. I'm ready to get on somebody's airplane and cruise ship or do something, that part, so it's what we want. We have to sit down long enough to say, hey sis, I love you enough to say, hey, this is what you need, this is what you want. As a woman, wherever you are in life, your dreams matter. Your dreams matter. And there's somebody who will say, hey sis, I love you enough to help you make your dreams come true. That's just exactly what it is. Hey brother, that's just exactly what it is. And if it's any less than that, you're settling. And yes, you might have to wait a certain period of time. When I told you, right, sis, Adam was made with broad shoulders to handle it all. And his woman pushed to push and assist and establish. Listen, as a woman, it is your job. I hear women saying this. I ain't got time to be stroking his ego. And I ain't got time to be, baby, let me tell you something. If a man comes in my life and he got a decent cash flow going on, and he got his own stuff that's making his cash flow, and he got a pretty decent head on his shoulders, and he can lead, he might have a few problems, he might leave his socks on the floor or whatever, I'm picking them socks up. I ain't worried. I'm not arguing with him about no socks. And I'm gonna get up and he gonna get a pep talk every morning before he go to work. I'm gonna cook his breakfast, and then if he want to take his lunch every day, I'm gonna fix his lunch and do all that stuff. See, because that's my job as a nurturer. That's what your job is. Your job is to cultivate what he already got going on. If you go to Proverbs 31, you see she was bad. They talking about bad. You know what? I don't want to say the word. Yeah, she was one, because she got up early. And she made sure her household was together. She made sure her kids were well kept and they had decent clothes and stuff to do. And when she got them kids off to school, she had a good reputation, and she made friends so that her husband was popular. He didn't have to do that because she was a good hostess in their house. When the guests came, she knew what to do and what to have around that house to make that house a home. And when she got her family off and got all that together, she had her own business. It says that she went and looked at real estate and done her own thing. So she was a boss in her own right. Her household functioned the way God designed it to function. See, we want to reinvent the wheel because we liberated it. I don't want to be that. I don't care what y'all say. Baby, I want to be a girly girl. And I want to make sure that's right, because it's going to benefit you if he's doing his part. And as long as he's taking up the right, he's going to lead right. I don't care what you say. He's going to lead right. If he's a man, that's what he's going to do. My husband fixes his own lunch and takes it to work, but I do cook dinner when I can. And working together works, however he wants to do it. But I'm just saying this to say, I ain't above fixing lunch early in the morning. If he's doing what he's supposed to do and he got to be at work at 6 o'clock in the morning, I ain't above getting up at 4 o'clock so I can talk to Jesus first and see what's supposed to be going on, and I can sit at the table and have a cup of coffee with my husband before he go off to do what he got to do for the day. That's just what I'm going to do. That's just what's going to happen. And that's how the household functions well when you have a purpose partner. When everybody knows, hey, this is what needs to be done, and everybody's on the same page, that's how things function. When we go out here and dumb ourselves down and we dealing with Negroes that's for the streets, you need to let them Negroes that's for the streets be in the streets. It's that. I'm not doing that. I'm too old to do that, for one thing. And I'm just going to tell you, I want to be a girly girl the rest of my life. I ain't trying to take the trash out. I ain't trying to cut the grass, and I don't want to do that. I pay a lot of money to get these nails done. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's just how it's just supposed to be. And so until we understand how these things are supposed to work, quit playing house with the wrong one. Quit playing house, period. If you can't commit something to me, I don't have time to be talking to you, to be saying nothing about nothing. We don't have nothing to talk about. We can be friends, and I can keep giving you some advice for your Miss Right, because I'm not your Miss Right, if that's what we're doing. We ain't playing nothing. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you are in a relationship and you guys are at the 2-year mark and he ain't said nothing to you about he want to put a ring on your finger, move on. Me either, but I put my own nails on. Well, however you do it, however you want your nails to look, you pay a lot of money to get these things done. And I'm not ready to be washing windows and doing all that stuff. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be nurturing. That's my job. And so, you know, we have to sit, be quiet, sit still, be okay with the time frame, because in that time frame, it's always the building of self. Anytime you spending time building self, sis, that's the best thing that you can possibly do. You are a total vibe. You are an asset to anybody that you come in contact with. When you're sitting down building self, building a closer relationship with God, because that's when things happen. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't mastered it, but I will say now, where I'm at now, when life be lifing, I ain't tripping. You hear me? I'm not tripping. As long as I can wake up tomorrow and I'm breathing and bleeding, I can walk and turn cartwheels and exercise and do whatever I want. I got the use of all my limbs and my mind is working like it's supposed to work. I can get up, put my makeup on and my glasses and do whatever and be a girly girl. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. And so, you know, with that, take some time and spend some time with you and figure out what it is that you like. Figure out what your purpose is so that when you run into, everybody says Boaz, so I'm going to use him. When you run into him, we drain ourselves, giving to the wrong ones. Be intentional about ourselves. Yep. I need to hear this tonight. Thank you so much. You welcome, because I'm like, hey, I need to hear it too. I'm preaching to myself just as well as I'm preaching to other people. But at the same time, the building of yourself is just amazing. We evolve every day. I am a totally different person from I'm 54, from who I was at 34 and 44, completely different. I have reinvented myself 1,000 times since then. I have changed my mind about things 1,000 times, and that's how it's supposed to be, because anytime you evolve, you add wisdom. And anytime you add wisdom, things have to change. You know, but I'm saying this to say, the desperation where women are concerned and just settling for whatever these men are dishing out, and our families are suffering, not just us, our kids. Your kids suffer when you don't choose right. When you don't choose a purpose partner, yep, your kids feel it. And then, like I said, in our bloodline, then the kid later on in life, the kids got to fight with the things that are in our bloodline to get rid of some things. Oh, my mother was depressed. My mother was lonely. My mother was this. No, those were spirits. And anytime there are spirits, we can denounce them and get rid of them. I'm not downplaying mental illness. Don't do that. I'm not doing that. And depression is real. Anxiety is real. I've dealt with anxiety. Depression usually deals with things that you were dealing with in the past. Anxiety are things that you are worried about in the future. Those are spirits. And anytime you deal with spirits, you can get rid of that stuff. It's not something that's permanent. And so there are a lot of older women that are suffering with loneliness, with, you know, not being able to figure out, hey, I don't have this to do. My kids are grown. I don't this, I don't that. But you got to denounce that. And you got to get out and you got to meet new people and understand, reinvent who you are as a woman. You will attract what you want when you know who you are. I'm going to tell you, a man can spot a lonely, depressed woman a mile away. A mile away. And they got plenty of games. There must be a handbook somewhere that they go and meet once a month, and they practice these little sayings in this handbook. I can't stand it. Show do been there, Nick. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they practice saying this stuff, and they play and prey on people, and we fall for it on a regular basis because we lonely, and we want to take cute pictures on social media like everybody else, knowing good and well we wake up every day or go to bed crying, because he don't treat us right. We have to learn to court men and stop dating them. Take him to court and ask questions to see if the question is, and that's it. It starts with knowing who you are, knowing what you need. The right partner will cover your shortcomings. That will create, that will create greatness, women and men. And that is so amazing. And that's from my brother. And I consider him to be a very wise man. But we do. Men and women need each other. But we need a whole person. We're saying, hey, when we get together, we'll be whole. Nope. You need to come to the playground whole. You need to come whole. Because if you don't, of course, we're going to have shortcomings. But just like my brother said, when you find the right person and you know who you are, he covers those shortcomings. He ain't tripping on that. Girl, he ain't tripping that you got some love handles, baby. He like them love handles. You worrying about, I got to be this and I got to be that and I got to get my stomach done. Girl, he ain't thinking about that. He is not thinking about that. And those are not the places that you want to stay or be in the first place. Me, my hat is off to those who, get their bodies altered. I ain't mad. I just don't think I'm going to do it. I think when I was younger, I thought about it, but I just don't think at this age, you got to take me how I am, baby. Some days I have love handles and some days I don't. I don't, depending on which body briefer that I'm wearing, because I got plenty of them. If you don't want to see them, we go on a date. I'll put that body briefer on. But when we come back, I might be busting out like biscuits. I don't know. But he going to love that. Is what I'm saying. You want somebody who's not superficial, who gonna love you whether you got your weave in or you got your weave out, or whether you got your braces on or got your braces off. That's just how it's supposed to be. Hey, Vanessa, you want somebody to be genuine, and you want to be genuine, because if you come to the table artificial, don't be complaining later on, that he ain't who he thought you was, because you wasn't who he thought you were. So let's be authentic in this thing. So spend some time with yourself. Write down, hey, Mother Carter, write down what you want to see in yourself first, since we making lists. We making lists about him, but make a list for yourself. This is what I see in myself. The way that I measure things, a whole man is attracted to a confident woman. Yeah. I mean, he ain't got time for no projects. Now, like my brother said, he'll cover some things, but ain't nobody got time to be, having a whole project going on. We too old for that. But make yourself a list. The way I evaluate things is I got to be doing at least one thing better than I was doing last year. It can't stay the same. I got to be evolving. I got to be doing better every year. I got to be seeing some things changing. And if you not, these young ladies running around here talking about they want a high value man and they ain't doing nothing, how does that work together? That don't go together. Now sometimes you can be the what was the movie Pretty Woman? Every blue moon. I don't see that happening too often, but every blue moon. But for the most part, you gotta bring something to the table. People talk about Boaz all the time. And when Naomi was telling Ruth what to do, Ruth had to do some things, and it wasn't give her body away. Naomi told her to go lay at his feet, not sleep with him. She told her to put on some perfume, which means you got to get yourself together. Makeup is not the enemy. Makeup ain't the devil. Perfume ain't the devil. Men are very visual. They pay real close attention. When you smell like a girl, when you pull up smelling like he smelled, he don't want that. He don't want that. So, I'm just saying femininity is everything. Some of us act like it ain't nothing, and I shouldn't have to do all that for him to love me for me. Well, yeah, he can love you for you, but he's still visual. He can still see. He wants to see something that don't look like him. Okay? Put some lipstick on, put some eyelashes on or something, something that excites him. Smell real good. Because that's exactly what Ruth done, and she laid at his feet. And guess what? He liked it. He went for it. And that very field that she was working in as a single woman working hard, she owned that field. Stop playing with me. Stop playing. That Bible is gangster, and that Bible is instruction. We sleeping on it. In this day and age, we sleeping on it. We trying to see what Cardi B and them doing, like I said. And Cardi's life is life, and you see how that's working. It ain't working at all. And I know some aunties that's listening to Cardi, for advice. Stop doing it. So we want to build our families. And in order to build our families, we have to be strong, confident women for those families. We got to get in our place and stay in our place. And we got to stand on business, because if it does not support that family, we ain't going. Period. I don't care. I know it's your time to shine, and you this, that, and the third, and everybody wants a man, and I get it, because men are needed. However, the wrong man will mess your whole life up, and your kids, and their kids, and all the kids behind them. So if you want to leave a legacy, the first and the best legacy that you can leave is to be the greatest mother that you can possibly be, the greatest auntie, the greatest grandmother. The older women will teach the younger. And if you are 40 plus, 40 is middle age. The average person lives to be around 80. So if you're 40, I hate to say it. I know 40 is the new 20. That's what they say. But 40, really, if you think about it, is middle age. So I'm like, way over 40, which means I got some teaching to do. You know, it's people watching me and how I move and how I do things. So I got to start getting some of these things right, because more is caught than taught. So it's almost 8 o'clock. I have enjoyed talking to you guys. Thank you guys for talking back to me and responding. Go to my YouTube page, Nichelle the Boss TV, and subscribe. Tell your friends so we can start going live on there, because it's really going to be amazing to go live on there. Like I said, I'm still working on my website, trying to get my website up. The fire kind of, threw me off a little bit, but I'm getting right back on track. Everything's falling into place. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for sharing the video so that we can get in front of more people so that we can grow. And ladies, let's change the world. Let's change the world. Love you guys. I will see you next Monday at 7 p.m. and hopefully Nigel will be here to join me. Have a good night.